Right, now let's start properly. Not everyone who's worn a mask has avoided catching COVID, but everyone who's avoided catching COVID so far has done so by wearing a mask. You've probably had COVID yourself. Unfortunately, any immunity you've had from vaccination, previous infection, or both doesn't last as long as you'd like it to. You are vulnerable to COVID again. If you're still watching, that's probably because you'd like to avoid catching COVID again. If you work in a school, you're not likely to get a lot of help from other people with this. You're going to have to do something about this yourself. Now, I'm just going to stop and say, if you're the head teacher of a school, once you finish watching, get online and order a single FFP2 mask for every single one of your staff. Give them out as soon as you can, maybe at the start of next week. For now, one mask can last a week. Then find someone else who can tell you much more about ventilating your school. I'm an expert on masks, not ventilation. You can also get in touch with me directly and I'll provide you some staff training for free, it'll be via Zoom or Google Meet, in the next couple of days. We can discuss the masks for week 2 during the training. Now, if you're still watching, it might be because you're starting to think that some of the things you've been told about immunity haven't been all that helpful. If you're still watching, it might be because a few things have come up in the news that have made you stop to think about COVID. Well, what's new in the last couple of weeks? It was revealed that the UK House of Commons has a new air filtration system. Well, it's not new, it was installed in 2021, but the news has just come out now. This is on top of news that the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland this year, a meeting of the wealthy and powerful from around the world, has COVID safety precautions that really don't match what's happening in UK schools. They don't match the message coming out that COVID is something we have to live with. It seems the wealthy and powerful are still taking COVID extremely seriously. This was summarised in an article by George Monbiot for The Guardian. You're probably more likely to read The Guardian than updated guidance from the World Health Organization that says that children should wear masks in crowded indoor areas, that means schools, regardless of the epidemiological situation in your local area. Sadly, the picture they use is of a surgical mask. You also might have heard about long COVID. There are occasional news articles about this, though sadly they're not always the most popular. I found an article about the death of a cat that was considerably more popular than an ITV News article about children with long COVID. You might have heard something about COVID affecting our immune system. I'm really not qualified to comment on this, but I've read lots about it, and I know where to send you to find out more. For example, you might have heard that the German health minister recently made a warning about this. I will talk a bit more about that at the end. Now, a big part is that most people don't yet realise that getting sick is bad for you. If you're still watching by now, I assume that you're starting to doubt the message that COVID is mild or it's important to get regular COVID infections to build your immunity. Maybe you've decided that you don't want to get sick anymore.